look, he was trying to do it. He's trying to do it. God.
Going back.
The fuck? Oh, that's how we're doing
That's how we do it.
Hey,
stuff, man.
Look where the fuck we're at. Hold on. Do y'all see this? This is great. Love and War has upgraded us. Well, apparently we've been good guests to them. I don't know. I guess they put us on a stage. They put us on the fucking stage. Like, what the hell? This is great. Look, Love and War. We're in Plano.
Yes.
Absolutely, still great food. And look, I still got my drinks. And look, wait. You know what's better about this? Cheers.
What?
There's no flies in my drink. And you know why? Not because the place puts flies in. I want to stress that very much so. But it's because they were outside.
Yes.
And we were outside for some time, which was all right. It was cool. But the flies were relentless. They were relentless. Look, are we in a rave right now? Is this what we're doing with the flashing lights? Have you seen
Our
this?
producer's still working on it.
Look, we're still trying to do it, but yet he said we wanted to go live and shit. Like, we were not
That's okay.
ready. That's fine. Whatever. Anyways, Love and War.
Yeah.
Look, I can't say how much they've been as a gracious host.
They have.
And it's been fantastic here. And look, there's big news coming. We're not going to talk about it right now, but there is big news. There is big news. I'm excited about it. I think we're all a little excited about it. So, hey, I can't wait. So, but look, shout out to Love and War. Here we are. Another day, another dollar. I'm excited. Can't wait.
How did let's recap fantasy real quick. You won.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. I scraped by.
I finally took my first loss.
Did you? Oh yeah. Hey, look, the professor. Hey, there's a chink in the armor.
There's a chink in the armor. You're right. Well, look, I missed my projected total by 8%.
Okay.
And I lost by 4%. So things happen. We can have all the statistical data in the world.
Do you know what happened to our producer? Do you want to?
Did he lose? I don't know.
I don't know. Wait. But do you know how he lost? Do you know who he had on the bench?
Oh, he did have Caleb.
No, he had Caleb. Wait. If we want to go back to the draft show, because I just want to do that for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. Wait. So we had a pre-draft show, and then we had a draft show, correct? Mm-hmm. And what did he say? He wanted to spite me as much as he could by being ahead of me to draft Caleb Williams
in the second round.
In the second round.
Right. And did you have any intention of taking Caleb Williams
at all? None. Not even. Like it didn't even cross my mind. If Caleb Williams would have been there in the 12th round, it still would have been a stretch to me.
You know what this is an example of? Right? This is a cognitive bias, right? He's such a huge Bears fan. He was swallowing whole everything we heard in preseason. All of these guys are going to be amazing.
All of it. You know, he was drinking the Kool-Aid.
He was drinking the Kool-Aid.
And then what happened? Then he saw that, this probably isn't a good idea.
No.
But then lo and behold,
well,
he benches him. And then what? Caleb Williams has the best game his NFL career. This is hilarious to me.
Well,
but he still lost. I love it.
To be fair, he had a tough coming up. His best wide receiver, Neighbors, was hurt. His starring running back was hurt.
He was all excuses to me.
He was forced to start both Bears running backs at his two slots, which actually worked out, believe it or not.
Which is wild.
Well,
but look, I'm gonna do this because you know what he did on the last show when he so-called beat me. Where he jumped on camera and he felt the need to rub it in. It was like, okay, cool. You had your little luck week. That's fine. But we all come back to reality.
Eventually. Statistics don't lie over time. Right? Just like in poker. Statistics don't lie over time. You know, every once in a while, you'll catch that set with the flush draw, and you'll feel so proud of yourself. But guess what? You do that every game.
Yeah.
2/3 of the time, you're going to lose. That's just how the stuff works.
And now he's back to reality. Yeah. Look, so now he's below 500.
Correct.
And where am I? I'm above 500.
Correct.
So back to the world is all right again. So moving on.
And again, I sat there and I told you, you had. I think you currently have the third highest point total. I could be wrong.
No, I'm still second. Don't you take away my points from me.
I want to say someone lit up last week and jumped both of us, but that could be wrong.
Oh, that would suck so bad. But it's all right. That's fine. If it happened, it happened. I still feel like we're in a rave right now, and I don't know why.
Because you're wearing sunglasses, and I'm literally sweating right now.
Are you really? Well, look, hey, but you gotta love it. Look, we have the lights on. We have our producer fucking with his lights for some reason. But we have the lights from Love and War. Love and War put us on the stage.
I know.
Isn't that insane?
I feel like all
feel like a radio show rock star or some shit. I don't know.
It's cool.
I mean, look, I dig it. I like I said, I love the hospitality. Yeah. It is what it is. But I do eventually need a drink at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, wait. Bias. Hey, we have a drink.
You said what? Biases are a weird thing. Right? Now they exist in both.
This is a
sports,
damn good segue.
They exist in real life.
That is a damn good segue.
I am working on my segues. Yes.
That is a damn good segue. I love it.
Go
ahead, tee it up.
No. Because I was thinking about biases, especially with the Jets head coach surprise firing earlier this week, and we'll get to that. But I wanted to bring it back to an episode that we did earlier this year. We talked about the movie Forrest.
Oh yeah.
We talked about one particular character. Right? Do you remember that conversation?
The main villain of this movie.
What was her name again?
Jenny. Jenny from the block.
Yes.
That Jezebel. Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever talked to a guy that did not share a level of disdain on her that borders on almost irrational?
No,
right?
No.
Let me ask this question a different way. When was the last time you ever asked the question of the fairer sex what they thought of Jenny in that movie?
I have not.
Have you not?
I have not.
What would you think they would say?
I think they would empower her. I think they would have thought her actions were justified because she should have lived her life.
So hold on.
Go ahead.
So I did a little polling data myself this week. Okay.
Please tell me I'm wrong. I want to be wrong.
I'm not going to sit there and tell you it's scientific, and I asked 2,000 people, right? Okay. I asked 25 females that I knew. What is your opinion of Jenny from Forrest Gump? Now, not everyone had seen the movie. We could judge that for whatever that's worth. But I will say this. First off, not everybody thought positive. Right? Okay. There was a lot of negative comments.
Okay.
But can I give you some of the quotes that
I'm curious.
These are exact quotes.
Okay.
I like her. No. Very, very, very misunderstood. But she had that trauma. Is she really that bad? These are quotes.
Oh God.
Okay.
Oh, right? Jesus Christ.
I sit there and when I thought about the entire concept of bias, right? What is bias? Bias is I'm making an emotional decision on something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These are emotional statements.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously in the movie, right, at the beginning part of the movie, she is sexually traumatized by her father.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Do you know that scene is not in the book? That's put in just for the movie.
Okay.
All right.
It
changed her entire perception with the female audience.
Jesus Christ.
We're talking about almost half of the people that I corresponded with had some kind of either a positive notion or an explanation of I understood where she was coming from.
Bullshit.
Right?
I fucking knew it. That's fine.
I mean, don't we live in that world right now? Right? Where some females, their behavior currently are justified because something bad happened to them years prior by a man who had nothing, who was no longer in their life.
So here's the thing, and I'm never gonna disregard or discredit somebody's past experiences, right? Look, you felt what you felt, you experienced what you experienced. Fine,
Yeah.
I understand, and I'm not gonna take that away from you. But in no way does that give you the right to treat a special person
Yes.
the way you did.
Exactly.
I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, yes, you had a bad childhood. You growing up, sure. Okay. Justified. Justified for you to be upset. Maybe even be upset at men.
Right.
But you clearly knew this was a special person.
Yeah.
And you still treated him like that. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't care. That doesn't absolve you. And I knew that was going to be because you didn't tell me this you didn't tell me this purposely.
What I told you was I was going to rile you up.
And look, and I knew it. And I knew because I knew what the reaction was going to be. Oh, I can see where she's coming from. No. Why?
These are exact quotes.
Why? What do you mean you could see where she's coming from? So you have an abusive childhood. So hey, let's pay it forward. Yeah. What? Why is that justified? No, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that thought process. I don't really care. And this is why I stand on it.
Yeah,
it's not justified. Let's go through every scene that she experienced with Ford.
Yeah.
At no point were you a support of him. At no point where you knew how he felt about you. And you still kept him in the friend zone until you found out this man is one of the richest men in America.
Correct.
And now your whole concept changes?
Hold on. Not just that part. Remember, it was when she had a child she hid from him and an incurable disease that she was suffering from.
Everything about her decision-making was horrible. So no, I do not want to sit here and you try to tell me that because you had a bad childhood. He had a bad childhood. He literally had a rock thrown at his face. Yeah. And he was chased down by a pickup truck.
That's right.
I'm sorry. What? Oh, okay. What are you talking about?
Look, I'm just a purveyor of information.
All right, and I wish you would have kept that to yourself. Because look, I don't want to have look, I want to think there's some decency and humanity. But when I hear shit like that, it's like, are you serious? Come on now.
I sit there and when I think about information like that, I sit there and I use it to help understand other decisions that make absolutely no sense, right? Because look, a lot of people, they're imprisoned by these biases in their lives, right? It could be anywhere from how we treat race and sex to how we justify poor behavior later in life. Right? Even as far as football, I mean, I sat there and I was telling you earlier that the firing of the Jets head coach is one of the stupidest things I've heard in a long, long time. And
is it any stupider than the Houston Texans firing a coach after every year for the last 3 years?
Well, Carolina does the same thing, but at least they let them finish the season. What the heck were you thinking? 5 games in, 2 weeks ago, people are running to the sports book to put Super Bowl bets on them after that Patriots demolishing, and now the coach needs to be fired. Right? So I sit there and I try to look at what bias, because this is the owner's decision, right?
Yeah.
What bias does that owner have? Okay. Why did he make that particular decision, right? So the owner of the Jets, a guy named Woody Johnson. Right? Now I'm gonna rattle off 5 facts about this guy. This is from the Wikipedia page. This isn't some crazy article. Where the
fuck did you get 5 facts about Woody fucking Johnson?
Yeah, look.
Other than he has 2 dick names.
Aside from the fact he's a billionaire, he's the owner of the Jets. I mean, yeah. But do you know how he has his fortune? Okay, so he is the great grandson of Robert Johnson, the founder of the Johnson & Johnson Corporation.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
When that boy turned 21, he instantly became a billionaire.
Jesus
Didn't
Christ.
have to work a day in his life. Okay? His resume.
Share the fucking wealth.
Listen to his resume. He has a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Arizona, which, by the way, is just slightly above community college, especially back in the 70s.
Okay.
He worked one summer as an intern at Johnson & Johnson, quit that job.
What?
No, this is his Wikipedia page. I'm not making these things up. He started an investment firm that's biggest accomplishment was being successfully sued by the IRS, which is you have to be a complete douchebag to have that happen to your company. And he is the largest monetary supporter of Donald Trump. Right? Those
are the facts that you pulled out for him?
That's on his Wikipedia page.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm the owner of the Jets. That's it. All right? Oh, by the way, also after Trump won his election in 2016, he was made ambassador of England. Right?
What?
For politically people who don't understand politics, ambassadorships are like the little prizes that big money donors get, right? And he's the biggest money donor. Which country do you want to be ambassador of? I want to be England, right? And was one of the leading voices supporting Brexit, right? Which almost destroyed the British economy.
Correct.
And so this is the guy's resume. I don't know. Do you know any hard right-wing QBs that have attitude problems that may be appealing to this guy? When he sat there and went to his office like, I can't stand this coach anymore. You got to get rid of
motherfucker
him.
that was Robert Kennedy's almost running mate.
They almost he was invited to. He's been invited to speak at multiple Republican events, and
what is happening right now?
You know, he's a big conspiracy theory guy, and Woody Johnson just loves this guy. He thinks he's. I don't know why they just make him the coach and just be done with it. But when you understand where that owner is coming from, what his mindset must truly be, all of a sudden that makes a lot. Getting rid of Salah like that makes more sense to me. Okay? I'm not saying I agree with it because, again, logically, it's the stupidest thing I heard this year. But he has biases, right? You know, he loves his Aaron Rodgers. He thinks Aaron Rodgers is the savior for his franchise. He wants playoff games in New York, right? Because again, that's the only thing he owns, right? He inherited all his money, and he decided to buy the Jets, right? So he doesn't have anything else to do with his money. This is his or contribute to political campaigns, right? That's all he knows, right? So his perspective is going to be much different than the average Joe Schmo who's scratching their head this Tuesday morning, like, why the hell did they do that? That didn't make any sense, right? 5 games in. Did you know they're actually playing for the division lead against Buffalo this week? They win that game, they're first in the division.
You realize how
and
terrible
that's
that
when
sounds?
and now you want to get rid of your coach? That's stupid. Yeah, like I said, I was fired up when I read that because I'm like, because we were talking about it last week. The Jets look terrible.
They look horrible.
But again, I think it's because Aaron Rodgers was washed up for a long time. Right? His last.
I don't think anybody wants to accept that. I think they looked at Tom Brady and they saw him play well into 45.
That's true.
And they think that, all right, here's the thing. And I've got into arguments and with people because they said, hey, Aaron Rodgers is the more talented quarterback than Tom Brady. And they used to stand on it. Okay, cool. I mean, they used to argue it. They did. They said he was the better thrower of the football. And so, okay. So now their justification is, all right, well, Aaron Rodgers is only 40, so he can still do it. No, he's falling off like how Peyton Manning fell off. Sure. It looks really fucking bad. You realize what Tom Brady's last game was? It was in the fucking playoffs against the Cowboys. Yes, he lost. But he went out
Fighting. Yeah.
Peyton Manning went out with a whimper.
Well, one thing I'll say,
Aaron Rodgers needs to get out.
One thing I'll say is Tom Brady was infamous for having a diet and exercise regime that rivaled nobody. Right? He was taking care. I mean, LeBron James follows almost the exact same pattern. There's a reason he's effective this late in his career. Right? He's taking extra special care.
We'll still see.
Do you know what Aaron Rodgers was doing in the offseason?
Fuck him and his son.
He skipped mandatory team meetings to go get high at ketamine in the Bahamas.
All of them.
So don't tell me that they're going to age the exact same way.
By the way, did you see that game with father and son? Did you see Bron and Bronny play on the little stupid ass preseason game?
I know
that they made a big deal out of.
Oh God, no!
It was nothing.
Bronny James would not have been drafted by an NBA team.
Thank you. I don't know why. I don't know why
He's
people
not a
realize that.
legitimate NBA
Do we
talent.
know what he averaged in college? He averaged 4 points a game, and he averaged less than 3 assists a game. Like what are we talking about here? In any sense of reality, he's not drafted. Yeah. In any sense, if he's not LeBron James' son, he's not drafted.
Well, look, I'm not against the Lakers drafting him per se. Look, well, here's the thing.
I want to be.
We just talked about the owner of the Jets. I assure you, if he didn't win a genetic lottery, would be serving drinks somewhere. Not that serving drinks is a bad thing, but he's not an owner of the Jets.
I like the cleanup as we're in a fucking bar.
Well,
he had to clean up.
I had to clean up. But here's the thing. My perception of is look, having nepotism is a thing, right? And it happens in corporations, it happens in movies,
and absolutely, right? And we can criticize it.
It's fair.
So, see, sometimes nepotism works. Like, look, Donald Sutherland and Keith Sutherland, that fucking worked. Everybody was okay with because they were both great actors. We're okay with that. But when it doesn't work, when Kanye West's daughter tries to come in and do The Lion King and destroys that whole Broadway, no, that's bad. That's when it becomes bad. So yes, but if you're gonna do this, then you open yourself up to the criticism.
Yes, you will get yourself open.
I don't think anybody.
I think that's fair.
Like I don't think if it works out, I don't think anybody knocks it. Cool.
Well, it's a tough pill to swallow for some people because not everybody gets that nepotism help in their lives, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't, right? Tom Hanks has one son, Colin Hanks. He's been in movies and TV shows left and right.
You know who I saw?
He's not a particularly good-looking guy. I don't think he'd have those opportunities if his father wasn't who he is.
Do you know who I saw actually made them make his kids work for it? So I don't know if you've seen it yet, and a lot of it is a good documentary. A lot of it's not really groundbreaking, but did you watch the Miss McMahon documentary on Netflix?
I have not seen it yet.
You should watch it, but it's pretty fascinating. But so one of the things that he actually they dive into is his kids. Oh, yeah. So Stephanie and Shane. Okay. So and one of the things that he did to make sure that nepotism wasn't an issue is he had them doing the most basic and entry level things up until they were in their 30s before he actually put them on TV. Well, no, Stephanie, he gave a little early because there was some things, but Shane, he put them through the ringer.
Really?
Before he was like, okay, you're ready to come into the spotlight.
Well, and good for him, right? I mean, I was saying,
I wouldn't say good for him. Vince is still a piece of shit, but yeah.
I guess. I've heard bad things, especially with how he handles talent, and I want to say there's probably a couple episodes about the
sex scandal, the affairs. Just pick one. I
was more thinking about the kind of contracts that they sign and the lack of health care for a profession where people probably get hurt more often than not.
Yeah.
Right?
All the time.
I mean, you hear about this with the old school football players. They didn't have, they couldn't leave. They couldn't leave the team that they were originally drafted on.
But the interesting thing is,
they were paid whatever the owner thought was okay at the time.
I think the difference between that and WWE, like the WWE still doesn't really care. Like, right, the big stars are getting hurt, and they're like, they'll get the time off and just whatever.
Once you make enough money, you don't care anymore, right? I mean, we had that conversation about Tua a few weeks ago, right? I sat there and I said, look, I don't think that guy wants to walk away from $100 million, right?
But his contract is guaranteed. Like he keeps that money.
That's not how it works. I assure you.
How much? He's not losing that money. Like
if he retires, yes, he does.
He loses it all.
Yeah,
that's what the contract was.
Correct.
Oh, and mind you, keep playing, my man.
And by the way, here's the thing. He's a 24-year-old, right? This is his third concussion
in 2 years.
Do you know who else has had 3 concussions in 2 years?
What is it? Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Right. I mean, this is my segue to the Bears. So Brisker is not going to be playing this Sunday because he just got his 3rd concussion in 2 years. Have you heard one person say that he should retire?
You want to know?
One.
Wait. Hold on. You want to know the difference? The play style is different. First of all,
a concussion's a concussion.
Okay. The Jaquan Brisker
who's having a Pro Bowl type season.
Let's just be honest. All right. So actually, I hold on. It's funny. I watched the Alex Brown and Lance Briggs podcast, and they talked about this. And you know who they compared Jaquan Brisker to? They compared him to Mike Brown. And the reason why they compared him to Mike Brown is because Mike Brown did not care about his body. Yeah. He literally put himself in to make sure that you got nothing. I'm going to literally put my body completely out there. Yeah. It's a different play style because at the end of the day, same thing with Ryan Clark. He was very similar too. You don't need them to do or like overthink about a lot of things.
Sure.
Read what the offense is doing, find the ball, go. That's all you really need to do.
Yeah.
So with defenders, yes. Now you can agree with it or not, but let's just be at the end of the day, I don't need Jaquan Brisker like figuring out the play calls back there. He's not calling the plays. He's not reading the offenses. What Tua is though, they've already said it. This is one of the most complicated positions in sports history. Figuring out. If you start fucking with your head, that is a bigger problem than a safety messing with his. It's just, and I know it's unfair. I know it's probably a problem. And look, I'm not saying it's not. But what I'm saying is, like, look, if Jaquan if he gets some concussions because he's flying through the air just throwing his body at people, okay, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do there? What do you want me to do?
But again, the point of what I'm trying to say is Brisker, again, he's statistically having the 3rd best season on that defense right now.
Yeah. Key player.
He's a very key player.
Now we got Mr. Simone Biles. That's who the replacement is.
Going to be playing.
Yes,
correct.
Absolutely. Which I'm okay with. I'm fine with. He's good.
That's why they signed him.
He's good.
They know that he's a high quality backup for both spots. And
Mr. Simone Biles is very good.
Special team.
He is very good. Actually, I don't. You know what? I take that back because I don't want to call him Mr. Simone Biles because
like
that goofy motherfucker wore a Packers hoodie at a Bears game. Fuck her. Sorry.
Remember the few games that the Bears struggled on defense last year when Brisker also had concussion.
Yeah.
So they actually
had to get depth.
They prepared much better.
You had to get
about
depth.
This issue.
100%.
Because the truth is,
tell that bitch don't wear no Packers hoodie.
She did take it off. Right? Did you see who was also what the other female athlete celebrity was at the last game?
Patrick?
From your favorite sports league in the world, you love it to death. Is Angel Reese from this?
She did have Caleb Williams jersey. Hey, look, hold on. But you know what she knows what she tweeted after that shit? Because she was like, "Hey, every game I come to has been a blowout." And look, she went back to the Baltimore game where they blew out who they blow out? It was week 2. It was right after the Chiefs game. They blew somebody up, but she wore Lamar's jersey. She wore Lamar's jersey, and then this week she wore Angel Reese's jersey, and they were both blowouts. And she's like, every time I come to a game, I was like, nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you.
She got a lot of screen time.
I hate it. I hate the WNBA. We're not going to go back into that. I hate the WNBA.
Although I understand your overarching point,
stupid sport.
but hey, give
people dropping shit in the background. Like, y'all know there's mics up here.
Give Angel Reese some flowers. I mean, she's basically come in and she's now the 3rd best player in the WNBA.
Oh, the bar is set so high. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, how much does it take to get up there? Like, what are we doing? Like, yes, it was wait, and that's not to knock anything from Angel Reese. Like, I promise you. Like, it's really not. But at the end of the day, like, what's your goal? Like, it's the same thing with Caleb Williams. Like, when I keep seeing all these stats, oh, he broke another rookie record. He did all this.
Sure.
Okay, as a Bears quarterback, how high was that bar?
But
the bar wasn't that high.
Let me throw one bar that might have been a little higher than you thought.
Okay.
How many 300-yard games did Justin Fields have during the Chicago Bears? Okay.
Are we doing this?
We're doing this.
This is what we're doing. That's fine. Look, he didn't throw any.
No, he did.
He threw one. No, he didn't.
Correct.
Yeah,
this is correct.
Fine.
How many has Caleb Williams thrown in 5 games?
What? I'm so sick of you. Look, I'm so sick of these fucking stats. I'm so sick of him. I don't care.
You just hate the truth. God damn it.
No.
Stop telling me the truth.
I want Justin to succeed.
Sure.
I'm sorry, not Justin. Caleb. I want him to succeed. I want him to be great for Chicago.
Sure.
I just need to see. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, he did this at USC. He beat up on shitty teams, and he put up points and stats against shitty teams. When it came to top-ranked defenses, he struggled every time. So here's the thing. I'm optimistic.
Yes.
But here's the thing. We don't see a good defense until New England. And that's 4 weeks from now.
Well, Washington's going to be a bigger
Washington has the lowest ranked defense in the league.
I don't think that's
yes.
true.
They literally...
I think Cincinnati will have something to say about that. But
maybe. But Washington is literally at the bottom. So, that's... yes, if you want to say that Jaden Daniels is playing well, cool. That's fine. But here, what have we said? Nobody's worried about Chicago's defense. If Chicago's defense can hold Jaden Daniels,
sure,
that Washington defense isn't stopping Caleb.
Correct.
So that nobody cares. Nobody cares about that.
Well,
what I'm saying is, all right, our first defensive test is New England. Then after New England, it's a shit show. Because then it goes Green Bay, fucking Minnesota, and then just goes off the rails from there. It goes bad.
What was really bad. At one point the 3rd easiest schedule in the NFL?
It's turning.
Almost completely flipped on its head.
It's turning. Yes.
Because I'm sorry, I still don't believe Washington's going to be an easy game. I mean, at the minimum, they're playing better than original expectations, which is the whole problem.
But again, we have the team that matches up to them. They're only playing well because their offense is playing well. The team isn't playing well.
What I will say about Washington, why they're a bigger concern for me than you, is Washington is one of the teams that has an elite defensive tackle, and we've already seen what happens when we run into. So did Tennessee. How did that work out?
No, they didn't. No. They had Simmons and they had
Simmons is the one who obliterated the interior of our offense, right? And once
we still won that game.
True. I'm not saying we didn't, but Washington to me is the next big test because again, they're the ones who have a legit defensive tackle, one who's been to a Pro Bowl, right? One who
Who else on that defense are we afraid of?
Again, I could say the same thing about Tennessee. Right? Who else on that defense will we be afraid of? Right? They had they have one of the top 3 defensive tackles in the league, and he obliterated that offensive line. Now, the truth is, ever since Nate Davis found a little piece of bench, and rumor is he's going to find there. The rumor is he's going to find the better part of the waiver wire sooner rather than later, and that's the rumor. But
I hope he does.
They don't really save much money in cap space by releasing him now.
No. We don't have to release him, but just don't let him ever see the field again.
Well, that's
he doesn't need to come out there. No. Look, here's the thing. His mom died, and he just said, "Fuck football." So, what are we talking about here?
It's a possibility. I'm not saying.
I think our producer is telling you to speak the fuck up.
Am I not speaking loud enough, producer? Oh my gosh! I'm literally like
I love it.
I'm literally like licking this.
I love it.
Oh my god!
I love it. I love this fucking show.
Let's talk about Jacksonville a little bit, man. We keep talking about New England, Washington. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's not the game this week.
You're right. Jacksonville's coming up. Here's the thing I say about Jacksonville. Fuck them. No. I mean, all right.
It's an interesting matchup, though. First of all, it's the London game, right?
So Trevor Lawrence is looking better. That team is looking better. But I mean, at the end of the day, here's the thing. These next couple teams, I look at their defense. If their defense is not terrifying, then I don't really care because we have a corner who literally shuts down half the field. Jalen Johnson.
He is
playing at elite, and nobody's acknowledging
PFF number one cornerback. They're acknowledging it. He's going to make the Pro Bowl. Don't worry about it.
I hope so. So fine. That he cuts off half the field. Tyreek Stevenson is becoming a stud. Kyler Gordon is becoming a stud, and that defensive line with your boy Javon Dexter. I'll say it.
So, who are the 3 highest PFF scorers on the Bears defense right now?
Javon Dexter, Jalen Johnson,
correct,
and T.J. Edwards.
No, it's actually Brisker. But
is Brisker higher than T.J. at this point?
This is accurate. Yes.
Okay, all right. T.J. Edwards is number 4.
Those are the 3 that are most likely.
Edwards is number 4. Go ahead, say it. I know what he is. I know he's up there.
I'm not sure number 4. I only looked at the top 3, but. Those are the 3 that are most likely going to make a Pro Bowl. I'm pretty sure they'll all 3 make a Pro Bowl this year. If the trajectory stays similar and they stay healthy, I mean, Dexter is doing things that a Bears defensive tackle hasn't done in the better part of a decade. Right?
And like I said, if this keeps up, I'm happy about it. I'm happy with it, and I'll say it week after week, and I've said it week after week. I don't have a single criticism except for that one broken run touchdown. We've done it now a couple weeks in a row where they just have this big break run for a touchdown, and I'm like, who fucked up their gaps here? That's weird to me. But again, they fix it quickly. They do fix it quickly. But it's still weird.
Let me throw you another fascinating stat.
Yes.
So the Kansas City Chiefs have not allowed an opponent to score more than 25 points in the last 24 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? See, the last time someone did was not this past Super Bowl, the Super Bowl before that. So there's a reason why they continue to win.
Yep.
Which team has the second highest 25 point or less streak in the NFL?
I know the Bears are 11 games of 21 or less.
Yeah, so they're 14 games in a row not allowing 25 points or more.
Like I said, I've said it week after week.
Yeah,
that defense. I don't have a single critique on that defense. What have I said? I need to see the generational talent be the generational talent, and then I need to see this DeAndre Swift, who I saw him in Detroit and I saw him in Philly do the same shit. And then he comes to Chicago and it's like, all right, but now we're seeing it. Cool. I'll shut the hell up.
I truly believe when reports out of practice that Roshan was going to get more of his playing time, kind of lit a fire under him a little bit.
However
and I'm okay with that.
By hook or by crook. Let's do it.
You know,
Get the job
I remember last week we were talking about Waldron and the fact that it took some of the
that fucker.
It took some players instead of saying, yeah, you know what? Why don't you try doing something a little different because this just not working. I sit there and I say, who cares why it happened as long as it happens, right? I don't care if somebody who probably should have known what he was doing before he showed up had to be trained or instructed a little better, right? But as long as Caleb keeps doing these things and the defense keeps doing their thing, right? The trajectory is going the correct direction, right?
Sure, but I mean, it is still frustrating that it had to happen. Like I don't like you still have to acknowledge to be like, hey, you needed your players to tell you how to coach.
Yeah,
that's still now. If you learn from it, and if we don't see any issues. If you don't see any issues from it going forward, great, cool.
Yeah.
But, bro, your players. Wait, a rookie had to come and tell you.
I don't know if it's a rookie did. But,
no, Caleb sat down with him too. It was Caleb, DJ, and Mercedes Lewis.
Okay. Well, Mercedes was the vet.
That was the old man Rivers coming in.
Sure.
Like, bro, that's fine. I'm glad it's fixed. But here's the thing. I only see it fixed against bad defenses. I want to see this happen against a good defense. So we'll see in New England. We'll see. But like right now, I'm just gonna enjoy. Hey, put up the points. Learn the game.
Well, look.
Put up the points. I'm excited.
To be honest with you, I'm actually really excited about this game coming up because we were a previous show we were talking about the last 4 generational talent QBs and how they did in their first 4 games. Now, Lawrence has had an uneven start to this particular season, but there is no doubt that he was a quote unquote generational talent when he came into the league. He was the first pick of the draft. No one was asking any questions. Guy won a national championship as a true freshman, 18-year-old. Right? He received D1 college offers when he was still in 8th grade. Right? So they knew who he was. Right? There's a reason he got paid. Right? Now, there are questions about how effective he is. You are right. Maybe the motivation isn't there anymore. He's playing, in front of the smallest fan base in the NFL. And
look at Deshaun Watson. They don't care. They got paid.
They got paid. Deshaun Watson has different issues, but
he got paid. What does he do?
Well, I sat there and I maintained that the problem with Deshaun Watson is no different than the problem RG3 had. The second you tear an ACL and cause severe damage to your knees and you're a running quarterback, your career trajectory goes down fast.
I would debate that simply because Deshaun Watson is not a running quarterback as RG3 was. RG3 was
maybe not to the same extent.
Deshaun Watson won a national title in Clemson without running. He literally threw for close to 400 yards in that national title game. That wasn't him. He wasn't running. He didn't want to run. He's not a running quarterback.
I respectfully disagree, especially on the onset of his career during his tenure at Houston. Now, again, I told you before, with all due respect to the Bears-Carolina trade.
You have too many stats. I have to look at them.
I'm sorry if I'm... I got this shit in my head.
Fuck you. I got other things in my head. But
go ahead. That Cleveland trade for Deshaun Watson absolutely was the stupidest thing probably in sports history.
It's the worst trade to go down.
They still owe him like $80 million.
More than that. Because they said if they bench him...
No, I'm sorry.
It's $175
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's $80 million a year after next year.
Yes.
So I apologize. You're right.
Dead cap.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Right? In fact, there's more than a few experts say he should have been benched weeks ago. Right? Mm-hmm. He's not doing the things necessary to help Cleveland win, and they're suffering for it. Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield, who they sent to the curb, is doing Baker Mayfield things in Tampa Bay. QB3 overall right now.
Chris Godwin and fucking Mike. Mike, what is his name?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
You should know Godwin. He's on your team.
I said Chris Godwin. I just couldn't remember the Mike, but I was like, I know it's Mike.
Yeah, no, but Mike Evans says I think he. I think he's tied a record for the most 1,200 yards.
So Deshaun Watson rushed for 500 yards in 1 year in his career. Like one.
And he got paid way too much money for that record.
Like I said,
I'm telling you, I don't know what Cleveland was smoking. It must have been really good, real strong stuff. But they're going to be paying that penalty for a long time. Right? They're not going to be relevant for a long time.
Damn Carolina.
And what's funny is,
hey, fuck Carolina.
What's funny is, see, the thing is, Carolina. Okay, let's say Bryce Young is a complete bust.
He is a bust.
But he's on his rookie contract. It's not going to cost them $80 million a year to move on from him. That's not the case with Cleveland. The situation is far worse. Right? I'm not saying Carolina didn't screw up. That's a pretty bad deal on their end, obviously, right? But what Cleveland did, it's going to literally destroy that franchise for the next 5 years, because they can't find his replacement properly for at least 2 more years, right? And I don't know, maybe the game plan is, let's just draft Peyton Arch Manning in 2 years when it's our turn. Okay, fine. And they should be selling every asset they have right now. Right? So
do they have a first round next year?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I think no. They've officially. I did see an article. They've officially finished the compensation for that trade this past draft.
Go after Shador. That's what you need. Go to Shador.
I don't know if he's the generational talent that people think he is. Arch Manning could be. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea why he's still in Texas, to be perfectly frank with you. I mean, Quinn Evers is he's not going to, unless he gets injured, Arch is not going to play. It's one of the NIL deals, that NIL money is making a big difference, because it's like, well, cool, I get to hang on a clipboard and make $5 million a year. So that sounds like a good plan. Caleb Williams, remember for a minute there, Caleb Williams was like threatening to say, hey, if the team I don't like gets that first pick, I'm just going to stay and collect my money.
Him and his dad. Yeah, him and his dad. All right. Are we winning in London?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. What's the score?
So I think the trajectory of between 23 and 28 points is about correct. So I'll go on
You're putting the Bears at 28 points?
I don't have faith in Jacksonville's defense. Okay. It is below par. There's a reason they've struggled out of the gate. It's not just Lawrence's fault. Now, I will say Jacksonville won't get shut down as much as Carolina will. Aside from the fact that they have a really good two-headed monster at running back, the one aspect of the Bears defense where they've been kind of iffy at best. Everyone's had a good rushing game against us, right? For good or bad. Now, the passing game has been locked down, and I do not believe Jacksonville's current wide receiver core is going to be able to overcome
who's
that.
The best wide receiver? It's the kid that was. He was suspended for gambling.
Can I tell you what the most interesting stat I saw this week?
Yeah.
So there is a stat covered on PFF called yards of separation on one-on-one coverage.
I saw this stat. I know exactly where you're going, because I know who was number one.
Well, number one was
Rome Odunze.
No.
Yes.
Neighbors. Rome was 3. Whether you're 3 or 1, you're doing
right.
well.
You're right. You're right.
But do you know who number 8 was? In fact, number 5 was Mr. Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
And number 8 was Mr. Brian Thomas, the 4th wide receiver taken in the draft, which says that we got a piece of a potential historic wide receiver draft, because if they're already 5 games in, creating great separation against legitimate pro level talent at cornerback, that only bodes well for their future. I mean, it's not Jamar Chase, it's not Tyreek Hill, it's not Lamb. It's these 4 rookies that are sprinkling that particular list. So and quietly, Brian Thomas is actually having a AFC Rookie of the Year type season. He's currently wide receiver 7 or 8, something like that. Right. So I think when we did our pre-draft show, I talked about, you're gonna rookie receivers are good investments because you usually get a good return on them. And the truth is, I probably should have grabbed another one, and I should listen to myself a little bit more, because Neighbors is keeping his team together, right? Brian Thomas is on the team that just frogged us for first place. And of course, Roma Dunze, I really believe before the end of the year, he's going to be doing some special stuff.
I hope so. Like, I'm over it.
I think Keenan Allen is, and it's already started, right? Keenan Allen has produced absolutely nothing for the Bears. And they scored a lot of points last week for him to have done nothing, right? Now, I granted can't help injuries, but one of the things I said was someone on the Bears team is going to be taking a haircut in terms of targets.
Wait, who did you say? You said Cole.
Cole Kmet. He is down. Now
everybody's down.
All the tight ends are down.
Yeah.
Right?
That whole team is down. Nobody's like blown it up yet.
Well,
so again, but I don't think Keenan Allen. I don't think Cole Kmet's going to be the down one. I think he's looking to Cole.
He's going to be down from where he was last year.
We'll see.
We're talking about from where he was last year. Now, there's 2 ways to look at this, right? 1, what he did last year, and 2, how he's doing in comparison to other tight ends. We are in the middle of the worst tight end statistical season ever. It is crickets out there. Right? I took the supposed number 1 tight end, Laporta, doing nothing. You took again 1A, 1B. Kelsey, he had a good game this week.
But other than that,
he's done nothing. Number 1 tight end, guess who it is? Brock Bowers, the rookie from Oakland. And mind you, one of the reasons he is because they sent their wide receiver 1 into limbo with my ankle. I mean, you've seen those memes, right? The second he gets traded, it's going to be a miracle. He's going to be walking around like it's Mardi Gras. He wants no part of that team.
I do want to get to this real quick. So, like, our producer set us up something before this, and he pissed me off because he was just he gave me a little teaser, and I was like, "Hey, are you going to set me up?" He's like, "No, we're just going to be surprised." So the fucker had a question for us.
Okay.
I don't know what the question is, but he just felt that before we ended this, he wanted to throw this out at us.
Sure.
Don't tell him anything because he's trying to put.
You have to, yeah. Well, you bring up a good point because the turf in London is not ideal, right? Injuries have happened there. But scoring has not been appreciably down ever since they started playing at Wembley Stadium. So I think he'll be fine. Will he do what he did last week? No, he's not playing Carolina, right? Jacksonville does have a stud DN, so they'll at least put some kind of pressure on him. But another interesting stat of the day: Caleb Williams right now is the number 1 QBR rated quarterback against the blitz.
200 yards and 2 touchdowns. See, I know stats too. Hey, fuck y'all.
He has figured something out. Something has clicked.
I hope he has.
Well, here's the thing. I said it before.
Hope he has.
I knew. The way they were playing that first game, especially, is like, gosh, they just don't look prepared. They just don't look prepared. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Can I throw another one other tidbit? Okay. Right? Because last week people were saying, "Whoa, this Jaden Daniels, he should have been the first pick." What were the Bears thinking? I said, "Listen, it's 4 games, right? And who has he done it against? Right? Let's see a couple more games. So Washington's playing the Bears. We'll have a wide open vision, right?" Now, I never said Jaden Daniels was not going to be a great player. He would have been my second choice if the Bears had thought about trading down or picking someone else besides Caleb. But I read a very fascinating article about Jaden Daniels. Okay? So Washington has the newest owner in the entire league, right? New owner, new ideas. He contracted out with a German company that specializes in VR for sports play. Right? Now they originally designed it for soccer in Germany, but the Washington Commanders are the first ones to adapt it for football. So think about your Monday morning when you are sitting on a chair looking at a video screen. Now imagine doing the VR set and you're seeing everything in 3D.
Yeah.
Right. They're the only ones who have it. And the story goes, Jane Daniels has been living in this thing for the entire summer.
And look,
I said that I see all that. I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's a reason he looks more prepared than everyone else. Maybe he put in a little bit extra work. I mean, one of my all-time favorite sports movies, Moneyball. What was that movie about? The Oakland A's want to do something new. Everyone's like, "This is stupid. What are you thinking?" Oh, well, after they won after they won some playoff games and did it with a quarter of the payroll, everyone started saying, "Huh, maybe your ideas are actually a good one," right? I actually believe, you can mark the tape, producer, that this is a technology that's going to get adapted by every NFL team within 3 years.
You know who else did something new? Love and War. Hey, they put us on the motherfucking stage here, boys. Look, I don't care what anybody says. Hey, this looks fantastic. You see this? Look, Love and War. We're on stage. We're doing big time here. Look.
But to producer, answer your question. I do believe Caleb Williams does 250 and 2 touchdowns this year. Right? I don't think he'll do 300 yards. I think the Bears are committed to the run game. That's what has produced these wins in reality, right? They're doing these play actions against the run, and it's working out really, really well. I don't think, because if you recall during the game, there were many moments, especially their supposedly stud cornerback J.C. Horn, where he just gave up on plays. And I'm like, why are you even playing? Like, he should have been benched. NPFF dinged him like crazy accordingly. I don't know if he's going to necessarily see that with Jacksonville, because one thing to note about this is technically Jacksonville's home game. They love the Jaguars in London. All right, so they will have home court energy in that particular game. Whereas last week we had it, right? So it'll be a much tougher game. Right? I am still a little concerned about the run game, especially with Brisker not in. Right? I mean, like I said, he's effectively the 3rd best player on our defense. Right? He won't even be there. Right? So I mean, these long runs.
Do you know where we will be? I'm sorry. Hey, this is great. I don't know. Have you ever been on the stage other than like some karaoke bullshit?
Yeah.
Like, this is fantastic. I don't know. Hey, you got to tell people to come out here. There's shots, drinks. Fantastic. Food. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Come on down.
What were they saying? What were they saying to us on Friday on this stage right over here? 1,000 people.
1,000 people. They got a concert here. They're gonna fill up this place.
Look,
we're gonna sell out arenas too. We're gonna sell them out.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. All right, producer. What's your poker question of the day? You said you wanted to add a good question.
He hit my hat.
Hello. So, quick question. So, we're talking about poker because we're Donkey's Den, and I want to talk about horsing.
Oh shit!
For those here who don't know,
I knew this was gonna be it. I knew this is why.
What is horsing? And my etiquette question is, do you let the table know? And what are the advantages of horsing? And what are the disadvantages of horsing?
All right. So You want to go? Or you want to?
I could start with just the description, and then you can go into
All
it. Right. So, for starters, it is a form of collusion, right? Whether we agree with it or not, it is. It is where two players at the same table playing at the exact same time agree to give a percentage of their winning to the other one.
Mid-game.
I mean, sometimes it's arranged before they play. Sometimes it's arranged in the middle. Now, from one particular perspective, it's done with players who are friendly with each other. They know each other, and it's especially exercised when one of those players might be not running well at all on that particular evening or that particular week, right? It helps reduce their overall risk in terms of losses and wins, right? If they get someone else's percentage of wins, and if that particular person that night does better, they'll end up net positive. Right? Now, of course, the opposite happens if it could go net negative, right? But over time, these things kind of even out. Now, I don't know if you want to add anything on the mechanics, but from my perspective, you really can't do this at a table where you're not a regular or not known, because again, it is collusion, right? If they end up in a pot with each other, you're more than likely going to see friendly play, check backs, and things like that. Because why should I chase after my own 10 when I have 10% of that opponent's pot, right? And when you're playing at a table where two guys are not going to be going against each other to the full extent of your abilities, it does inherently lead to a disadvantage to others.
So here's what I'll say. No, I don't have anything to say about the mechanics of it. I think you explained it just fine. Here's why horsing became so big and so popular. And look, I know it because this is what I did for years. Rake is a problem. Sure. Rake is a massive problem in certain venues. And I don't want this to be taken as me a knock. Look, this is how some of the certain games make money. So again, it's not a knock against you, but you still have to understand. With that being said, it is very difficult to be profitable in any sense, right? So I think horse mindset or horse gameplay has become more prevalent in as the rates go higher. And so which now if we want to talk about the moral aspect of it for the sanctity of poker and like to keep the
to be clear, this is not something that would be allowed in the casino.
Absolutely. And that's exactly so that's what I'm saying. To keep the actual integrity of the game, no, this should never be a thing. Yeah. But the unfortunate thing is, all right, you need to make money. I'm not trying to lose that much goddamn money.
Yeah.
All right, let's come to an agreement. So a lot of these games who do have high rates, they look past it because whatever, who gives a fuck? Because they're still pulling theirs.
Yeah.
And then we still have our agreement. So I think people have understood in these certain type of games where it's like, okay, I'm still going to make mine. You do what you need to do. So in terms of, from a moral aspect, no, it definitely destroys the integrity of the game. But in certain games where it's like, look, you want me to come here, you want me to spend money, bro. Like you're not gonna gouge me either.
There's another way to look at it, because you're correct. The rake percentage at certain games higher than a casino, right? And the ability to minimize your overarching risk, right? Has more appeal than on a standard game.
And that's always
the same thing as running twice. Again, something that would not be allowed at a casino. least I've never been to a
Higher
casino where
stakes.
allowed it.
Higher stakes does. They don't allow it in 1-2. But if you
even 5-10, I've never seen it.
If you go to but no, actually, if you go to Choctaw WinStar, I've seen it. They don't allow it anything less than 2-5. They'll let you run twice at 2-5.
It's not common.
Yes.
I've
still
been
not common.
to
Yeah, it's still not
casinos all across this country. I've never
Yeah.
seen it practiced
Yeah.
obsessively, right? So there's a concept in poker called variance, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically even if you make the statistically correct decision, you still screwed up, right? You
Correct.
still running it twice reduces variance dramatically. So does horsing, really, right? It does reduce variance, right? And if you're consistently playing at a game with a higher than average rake percentage, it's something that would effectively help, right? Now, you could also do the same thing by playing at a game that doesn't have a higher than average rake percentage, but I digress.
But if you're gonna do it, because like I said, the host or whatever, you're gonna do it, fine. But just understand, you're gonna do this to me. Fuck you. You better suck it up. Look, if I'm bringing myself another play, because again, at the end of the day, as a host, you want to make a game, you want to make a table.
Absolutely.
So if I'm bringing myself and another, suck it up. You're getting two players that's sitting down. So at the end of the day, my concept is you can look past this because you want to make money. I'm helping you make money. Sure. Let me mitigate my loss.
Sure.
That's all. Because I'm probably still going to lose in this.
Well,
but let me mitigate my loss.
Sure. And again, there are a lot of extenuating circumstances, but again, it's like I said, a form of collusion, right? Intended
Not a form.
to.
It absolutely is collusion.
Yeah.
It absolutely is collusion.
Look,
you would never be able to do this in a tournament. You would never be able to do this in a true casino.
Correct.
No, it is an absolute form of collusion.
What I sit there and I say form of, right? When I sit there and think about collusion is, I know your cards because you just transmit it to me with a hand signal, and right.
If I know I'm getting
that's collusion,
if I know I'm getting a kickback, yeah, it's a different. It's a cousin of collusion, but it is a collusion.
Collusion, correct, right?
Yeah. So,
and if you're not part of that prearrangement,
you'll be pissed. If fucker A and fucker B are sitting at 7-8 and you're on the 1 seat, fuck you. I'm watching this. Yes, yeah. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset. I'll never get in another hand with them. I will avoid both of them because all they're doing, they're either going to double team you, or you're not going to get any money out of it. Huh? No, motherfucker. I can have pocket tens, and if y'all are in there, no, I'm out.
There's a concept in cash game called giving action, right? You don't give action to everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
God no.
You don't. Right?
No, you don't. Hell no.
It's kind of an unwritten rule, but your hands are just one factor on how you actually play it and how you actually. Because look,
I'm not giving action to a nit.
Let me put it a different way. Some kind of collusion that you will see at a casino. Let's say you're in Vegas, weekend game. You're there. Two brothers are at a table, right? They're going to go after each other. They're brothers. I don't want to take your money.
And wait.
I was meaning siblings. But
No. And if they do go after each other, fuck them. Let them go by themselves. Look, I'll just sit back and get the popcorn ready. What the hell? Watch it.
I usually when I see a dynamic of two individuals that I know for a fact they are not going to play against each other, very difficult, I am less likely to select hands to play against them.
Facts. You literally have to have the nuts to even.
Well, I wouldn't say it like that.
I would. Theoretically, yes, I would. If you know there's a conspiracy against you, why would you play into it?
Well, that's the thing. It's not a conspiracy against you. It's just they're going to have more information than me.
Exactly. If there's the two people in it, I'm the odd man out. It's a conspiracy against me at that point. It's two against one at that point.
Conspiracy is that they told each other their hands, right? Which happened online.
You don't
poker
know what
all the
fuck
time,
they're doing.
which happen on online poker all the time. A lot of people don't know that.
Exactly.
But this is why you never play online cash games.
I feel like we are
0%. Only if you are you hate money. You hate money, go for it. Go right ahead. Yeah, but people who play seriously online, especially like 10 years ago.
Nico, are you enjoying your drink? Like
this is my second. You got one.
Don't worry about don't count my drinks. God damn it! Just, look, this is a fantastic place. This is Loving War. Like, look, I don't care. Don't.
I've never horsed with him, but
we haven't.
No.
Oh, okay. Is the third person being aggressive? Then yes, then you still play at them.
Yeah,
But I mean, again, typically, like if I see him, like so, let's say he does a check raise to the aggressor, right? Me,
you're out of there.
I'm out. No matter what unless I have the stone cold nuts. No, I'm not going after a draw.
One thing I'll say is if he in that situation, if he calls by check raise,
then he has to get.
I'm not raising. No. I'm not raising anything on that river. Anything, and vice versa. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Right, because he just told me he had a great hand. I just told him I have a great hand. Now, more likely than not, that other individual is gonna hightail it out of there, right?
Or it should pick up on it and should get out. Yes.
Right.
Any smart individual will get out after that happens.
Because that's one of the reasons why I would be extremely selective when playing, because they're not going to be playing normal poker.
Yeah.
Right. He might be calling me with the nuts there. Right. I'm there. I'm like, now in theory he could be re-raising me, but he's not going to be doing that in a scenario where we're kind of colluding.
It all depends on the position. Like say if he check raises if you're still behind me, I can't raise because I need you in the hand.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
When I sit there and I tell novices what you do at poker, understanding hands is like step one. What's more important than hands is position.
Yes.
Right. I try as desperate as I can not to be playing out of position on raised pots because that's you play out of position on raised pots consistently out of position. That's a great way to lose money. That's a great way to lose money. Because obviously, you have one of these small pairs and there's 5 people in the action. You could make a calculated gamble. Right, but more times than not, I mean, to hit a set, it's like 8%. So 12-1 against that you're ever going to see a set, and even if you hit that set, you got to hope someone's got an overpair or some kind of draw to pay you out. So, again, I sit there, I tell people, make sure you're in position on raised pots as often as possible, and in that scenario, when I have a raised pot. And a quote unquote horsey is calling me, I'm not going to be re-raising him because I know that a portion of that pot's going to end up going to be given or taken from it anyway. So there's a mathematical reason not to do it, right? But again, that's one of the reasons why, to answer your first question, I would be very selective on getting in pots. In fact, out of position, I would never do it. 0%. Like in position depends. You can make educated decisions, but in a scenario where you're the one person and 2 guys are horsing and you're out of position, that's another good way to lose money.
Well, definitely, it's always a pleasure coming out here to Loving War. Like I can't like this is fantastic. Like this is, look, we did this as a couple first weeks just to fuck around, like just start a podcast, like talk about some bullshit, and now like. Look, they're embracing us, and I think this is a fantastic thing. I want to give a shout out to Loving War for continuously hosting us.
Yeah.
And I want to say this. Look, I appreciate them. Big thing. Look when they actually give us the green light, just know there's big things coming. Be excited. I'm excited. Like, cheers to it. Hey, look, another great show. I love it. Cheers to y'all.
So follow us on
Facebook,
podcast,
everything,
and,
Spotify,
Instagram,
all this shit.
all that stuff.
There's
Right?
all them Gen Z.
Well, a producer, you're saying I'm the professor and he's Eli? Do you have a nickname for him? Are you saying Cowboy Eli?
Cowboy Eli?
I don't know.
Shit.
I made my
Cheers
persona from the beginning.
I've always
but
had
you
my
never
ass.
really gave one for yourself.
Look, I'm the own persona. What the fuck? Have you met me, motherfucker?
The loud mouth.
That's fine, motherfucker. Let's go. Hey, cheers to it. Appreciate y'all. I'm out this motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. You can keep talking if you want to.
I'm good.